The emotional toll is unbearable for Patricia Joseph. The constant, heart-wrenching thoughts about her mother's final moments haunt her daily. The endless uncertainty of not knowing what happened creates a torturous limbo that never eases. 6 years have passed since 74-year-old Hyacinth Gage mysteriously disappeared, yet Patricia still instinctively searches crowds for her mother's distinctive orange-lined raincoat, hoping against hope for some clue that might explain her vanishing. Tragically, Hyacinth is just one of a growing number of people who have disappeared without a trace on the small Caribbean island of Antigua, a disturbing trend that some call an epidemic, others a full-blown crisis. In just the past 2 years alone, at least 9 individuals have vanished under mysterious circumstances. That fateful day in May 2019 began normally enough. Hyacinth, described by her family as lively and independent, had gone to the public hospital for a routine medical checkup but never returned home. What followed was an agonizing series of island-wide searches, desperate public appeals, and fruitless investigations that left the family with more questions than answers. Patricia and her sister took matters into their own hands, becoming amateur detectives in their quest for the truth. They discovered that while Hyacinth had completed scheduled blood tests, she never showed up for her electrocardiogram. Further digging revealed she had briefly handed her purse to another patient for safekeeping, but never came back to retrieve it. The bag was found by hospital security the next day. The family even tracked down a motorist who claimed to have given Hyacinth a ride to a location near the hospital before she vanished completely. "The police actually got angry with us for investigating on our own," Patricia recalls bitterly. "They told us to stop, and when we kept asking questions, they became annoyed. Eventually, we had no choice but to back off and just pray for answers." Special occasions have become particularly painful for the family. March 6th would have been Hyacinth's 80th birthday, a milestone the family had long planned to celebrate in grand fashion. Instead, Patricia took the day off work to spend it in quiet mourning, reflecting on the unanswered questions surrounding her mother's disappearance. What makes Antigua's situation especially troubling is how the number of disappearances appears disproportionately high compared to neighboring islands, a pattern confirmed by multiple sources across the region who spoke about the phenomenon. For instance, in St. Kitts, which has a population of about 48,000, official police statistics show that of the 54 people reported missing in 2023 and 2024, all but 2 have been accounted for, with those 2 believed to be Haitian migrants who later left the country. Antigua's small size, just 108 square miles with fewer than 100,000 residents, makes the high number of vanishings even more perplexing. The close-knit nature of the community would seemingly make it difficult for people to disappear without someone knowing something. Yet the cases continue to mount with no resolution. Speculation about possible causes runs rampant. Theories range from the mundane, such as an underfunded, understaffed police force lacking the resources or motivation to properly investigate, to the downright sinister. Other islands eventually find bodies when people go missing, Patricia points out. "My mind races through all sorts of terrible possibilities. Some people suggest organ trafficking. I've even wondered about gang initiation rituals. Could this be some kind of requirement for membership?" The recent disappearance and subsequent discovery of 9-year-old Chantel Crump's body on March 14th sent shockwaves through the nation, sparking widespread outrage and protests. The case, which resulted in murder charges against a woman, has only intensified rumors and speculation about what might be happening to Antigua's missing. Acting Police Commissioner Everton Jeffers acknowledges there's room for improvement in how the police handle public relations regarding these cases, but rejects any suggestion that law enforcement doesn't care about the disappearances. He also says he's keeping an open mind about the possible reasons behind the high number of missing persons, including the disturbing theory that an organ trafficking operation could be at work on the island. "It's something we've been hearing about, and something we will look into," Jeffers explains. "There's no concrete evidence to support it at this time, but it's very important that we don't dismiss anything out of hand." Patricia has found some small measure of comfort in connecting with other families who share her nightmare. She now plans to establish a formal action group to seek international assistance in solving these cases. "This isn't just random anymore. This is serious. This is a crisis," she emphasizes. "We need help from outside our borders because whatever is happening here, we can't solve it alone." Aaron, who asked that his real name not be used due to safety concerns, has compiled a list of nearly 60 people who have disappeared in Antigua, more than a third of them in just the last decade, and believes the actual number may be even higher. The missing come from all walks of life, with men accounting for about 2/3 of cases, ranging from teenagers to senior citizens in their 70s. I know this pain personally, Aaron reveals. One of my family members disappeared without a trace, and another was murdered. He speaks on condition of anonymity because of threats he says he's received for bringing attention to the issue. So many families are suffering in silence. Many have gone to their graves without ever getting justice for their loved ones, Aaron continues. While some of these disappearances might be related to people involved in criminal activities, there's growing concern that something more organized, like an organ harvesting ring, could be operating behind the scenes. Police officials say they are in the process of compiling official statistics on missing persons cases spanning the last 20 years. But as of this writing, those numbers have not been made public. Tragically, 2024 has already seen at least 2 new disappearances. In late January, Orden David failed to return home after a night out at a local casino. The 39-year-old's burned-out car was later recovered, but few other clues have emerged in the case. Aline Henry, who describes Orden as her best friend of 23 years, shares the anguish felt by so many other families in similar situations. The absolute worst part is not knowing if he's being held somewhere against his will, Aline says, her voice trembling. Is someone hurting him, torturing him? Every single day my imagination runs wild with terrible possibilities. If, God forbid, the worst has happened, then at least we need closure. We deserve to know the truth. Orden was well known in Antigua as one of the key litigants in a landmark 2022 case that successfully overturned colonial-era legislation criminalizing same-sex relationships. His high-profile activism has led some to wonder if he may have been targeted because of it. I can't even begin to explain how much it hurts that instead of focusing on the fact that a human being is missing, some people choose to focus on his sexual orientation, Aline says sadly. I truly believe the court case may have made him a target for whoever is responsible for this. Then, on February 26th, Keon Richards, a 38-year-old employee of the National School Meals Program, vanished after leaving work. His mother, Diane Clark, says she's trying to stay positive, but admits the reality is difficult to face. You hear about people going missing in the news all the time, Diane says, but you never think it's going to creep up on your own family until it does. With the exception of one 43-year-old woman, all those who have disappeared without a trace in Antigua over the last 2 years have been men, ranging in age from 18 to 76. One significant obstacle hindering investigations is the lack of a local forensic laboratory, which means crucial DNA evidence must be sent overseas for analysis, a process that can take months and delay investigations significantly. Michael Murrell, director of Forensic Services, tells that a new lab capable of analyzing trace evidence like hair, blood, and semen will become operational within months, though he admits full DNA analysis capabilities remain years away due to limited funding. For families like Gregory Bailey's, these technological improvements can't come soon enough. His 26-year-old son, Kevorn, hasn't been seen since August 2022, when he received a mysterious phone call and left home to meet the caller, never to return. Gregory says the telecommunications company claims to have provided police with the caller's identity long ago, but to this day, the police still can't or won't tell me who it was. The depth of Gregory's pain and frustration is palpable as he speaks. It's like a part of me is missing too, he says quietly. Some people talk about needing closure, but honestly, I don't think I could handle seeing my son in a coffin. I'd rather keep picturing him alive somewhere. His experience with law enforcement has left him disillusioned. It's emotionally exhausting trying to get answers from the police. If I don't call them, I never hear anything. When I do call, I just get empty promises and platitudes, Gregory explains. I want the government to understand how much people are suffering. I don't think they really grasp that. The grieving father describes the personal toll of his son's disappearance. I put up missing posters everywhere I could think of, but I couldn't bring myself to put any up around our own neighborhood. It was just too painful. This has been the most devastating experience of my life. Gregory believes the shockingly high number of disappearances is directly tied to how easily criminal elements seem to operate with impunity in Antigua. Aaron's research supports this view. He's compiled a separate list of more than 100 unsolved murders on the island. People have completely lost faith in the police, Gregory states bluntly. Corruption in law enforcement is rampant. Everyone knows it. Aaron concurs, adding, there have been multiple cases where perpetrators actually retaliated against victims' families after they reported crimes to the police. Police Chief Jeffers acknowledges imperfections in the system. No police force in the world is perfect, he admits, but I can guarantee that 90% of our officers are good, honest people trying to do their jobs. He also concedes that limited financial resources significantly hamper investigative efforts. There isn't a single police force in the Caribbean that has all the resources we really need to do everything required of us. Jeffers explains, we do everything within our power to find missing people, following up on leads from the public, conducting searches, pursuing every possible angle. But when there simply are no leads, we can't just keep going in circles. We need the public's support and cooperation more than anything, he adds. Recognizing the growing crisis, the Antiguan government has recently pledged to implement several new measures, including creating a specialized missing persons task force and acquiring specially trained cadaver dogs to assist in searches. Whether these steps will be enough to provide answers for the dozens of families trapped in agonizing limbo remains to be seen. For Patricia Joseph, the time for action is now. We can't keep waiting for more people to vanish before something changes, she urges. I just pray it doesn't take someone close to those in power going missing for them to finally take this crisis seriously. As the sun sets over Antigua's picturesque beaches, the families of the missing continue their vigil. Haunted by questions that may never be answered, united in grief that knows no closure, and bound by a desperate hope that somehow someday the truth will come to light.